Okay, in the last video we looked at how we can select elements and how we can hide those elements. This video I'm going to show you how we can trigger those events with a click event or a mouse over or mouse enter, etc. There's a number of different jQuery events that are recognized. So let's get rid of these. Let's start off with hiding. Now what's going to make most sense on this is if we have all of the answers hidden to start with, and then we click on the question and we get the answer. But since we already know how to hide, let's start with that, and then we will look at how to do the opposite, have it actually show. So if, let's say, this one is clicked on, I want to hide that. Once again, we're doing the opposite. So what I would do is I would use my selector, which once again starts off with the $, and then it is an ID of Q1, so I'm going to do $Q1, and then I'm going to say click, and then I need to call a function. What do I want it to do when I click on it? Well, I don't have a function or anything that's going to do anything, so let's create a function real quick that will do something. Now we could do anonymous functions, which we have not talked about anonymous functions yet, so I'm not going to talk about that here, but maybe in the future somebody's watching this and we have gone over anonymous functions, then that would make the most sense here, but currently we haven't done it. So I'm going to create a function, and I'll just call it like go away. And function go away just simply hides something. So what it's going to do is it is going to hide, and in this case I want it to hide this one. We'll look at how we can make it show hide various ones, but for now this is A1, so I want to make A1 go away. So I'm going to use my selector, oops, and I'm going to do the A1, which is an ID again, dot hide. Okay, so if I want this, when the question's clicked on, I want it to call this function, which is going to hide the answer. Then in here I just need to say go away, call the function, oops, that it should be using. So let's try this. Okay, so when I click on question 1, this should disappear. Click on question 1, and there we go, we saw that it disappeared. Okay, so what if I wanted to actually make the question itself disappear? Only reason I'm showing this is because there's actually a selector that we didn't talk about before. We talked about selecting with IDs. We talked about selecting, like I could make this, make all paragraphs go away. I could, actually I guess this would be clicking on this is where I need to change it to all paragraphs. I could call classes, which once again I don't have a class, by putting a period in here. But I can also, and let's change this back to what it was supposed to be, that's the Q1. I can also select this element. So the way I do that is I actually don't put any quotes in here, I just put the keyword this in there, which you're familiar with this from when we were doing the classes and objects. So when this gets called now, Q1.click calls go away says hide this element. Well, it's going to be whichever one got clicked on. So if I refresh that, go back and look at it, I click on it and nothing happens because I forgot the $sign right here. There we go. So now it gets rid of the element that got clicked on. So how could I make that work for any of these? Well, what I can do is come back here now, and instead of specifically saying when question 1 is clicked on, let's say when any H2 is clicked on. So I'll put an H2 in there. So when an H2 is clicked on, that particular element is going to be hidden. So if I want to hide any element of the page when it gets clicked on, there we go. And we can see that I can get rid of, but I can't get rid of the questions. So how would I hide the answers themselves? Well, those are in paragraphs, so just like I created the rule for all H2s, I would copy and paste this and replace that with paragraphs. And now all paragraphs when clicked on are also going to run the go away function. The go away function once again is very generic. It just says hide this element, whatever that element has to be, doesn't matter what it is. Okay, and I'll refresh this go check it. Click on questions, they still go away. Click on paragraphs with the answers, they go away. So now any element on my page can be clicked on and made to go away. All right, so how can I update this? So instead of hiding things, I initially start off all my answers hidden, and then I display the answers after clicking on the question. Well, first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to hide all of them to begin with. I could hide them through jQuery, or I could also hide them up here to start off with. So I could say all paragraphs have a display of none. So if I double check this, let's get rid of everything I have down here so far. Refresh, view it. Okay, so I have my questions, I have no answers. So when I click on this first question, how do I show that answer? Well, that goes back to what we had just done. So I have my selector. I want Q1, which is an ID. So ID # Q1 dot. When it gets clicked on, I want to run a function, and I'll call this show it. And don't put the parentheses in or it's going to run right away. There we go. So it's going to run a function called show it. So let's create show it. So show it function. What does it do? Well, it is going to display the first answer. So I'm going to select the first answer. So that'd be A1 dot show. Refresh. Check this, click on the first one, and there's the answer. So how would I do this for all the rest of them? Well, with what we know right now, we would actually have to create a separate selector and a separate function for every single one of these, which is doable, especially with jQuery being so much shorter. Still, it'd be nice if there was an even faster way to do that, and that's what we will look at in the next video.